Good morning, SKN. I'm Jamie Morris.
And I am Cortensia Carty.
Well, today's Wednesday.
And it's hump day.
I was going to let you say that. You know that, right? You know that. You had to know that.
It is hump day, and Jamie got his camel.
I've been asking for it for so long. Apparently, you have to disappear and come back before you get what you really want. So here you go. I got my camel. We're going over the hump today on Wednesday. All right, so taking a brief look at the weather, it's going to be partly cloudy with a 40% or moderate chance of showers, a high of 88 degrees and a low of 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So cool in the evenings, just the way we like it.
Yeah, and the degrees remain the same. Inspect Fahrenheit. Alrighty, so we begin this morning with the latest in local news. This is from the Nevis Island Administration press release. 13 boys in Nevis were applauded and awarded for their display of good behavior and character when the Boy of Excellence Award by the Department of Gender Affairs in the Ministry of Health and Gender Affairs in a show of support for the budding young men in celebration of International Day of the Boy Child, May 16, 2022. The awardees are Cyprian David of St. Thomas Primary School, Ryan Taylor of Charleston Primary School, Leston Hicks of St. James Primary School, Jeshawn Pemberton of the Violet O. Jeffers Nichols Primary School, Zeandre Dorr of the Joycelyn Library Primary School, Ajari Cornelius of Ivor Walters Primary School, Udell Wisdom of Gingerland Secondary School, Nevroy Willock Manners of Charleston Secondary School, Jarim Doris of Mott Cross Preparatory School, Karif Davis of the Nevis Academy, Joshua Santos of Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School, Tahiri Trotman of Nevis International Secondary School, and William Guy III of Montessori Academy.
I'm sorry, I just have to say the way that you
Congrats
said
to all
that.
those young gentlemen.
William Guy III. So formal. What a way to end. We're going to get the fourth and the fifth. William Guy and all the others, congratulations to you.
Congrats. And that's a great initiative because, as we said, the boys are normally not recognized in society as the girls are.
Yeah.
So thank you to the Nevis Island Administration for that.
All right, so moving on to our second story, this from Win Media. 10 panists from across 5 countries will be represented in the finals of the Panogramma competition slated for June 12, 2022. The countries include Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, France, the United States of America, and Belize. 6 of the 10 panists are representatives of Trinidad and Tobago. Each panist will perform their own arrangement of any tune of choice and be judged on criteria that include variations, execution, and performance. A special guest performance will be added to the night's agenda. So we are going to be in pan mode for this one. June 12th, it's just around the corner. So
And there is a
excited.
surprise. There is a surprise.
Yeah. You say surprise, and you've said that so many times. I was waiting to know what it is because I know that I'm not the surprise on this one, thankfully.
No,
Right.
your day of surprises come and gone. But yeah, surprise Jamie's back.
I don't know. Do you think? Well, Trinidad and Tobago is clearly in, so I think
Yeah.
that they have a good chance of coming out on top. That would be interesting to
Let's
see.
hope, because Grenada is right there, and Grenada is a little Trinidad if you don't know. So I am not going to give the big bad boss it. The ones that I always back is always the ones that come out on top, because remember, they're rolling with a winner.
That's what you think, but I'm thinking Team Trinidad and Tobago all of the way, considering the origin of the pan. Let's go. This is not a case of servant being greater than the master in this case. Come on, Trinidad and Tobago, we're rooting for you. Okay?
That just might happen. Yeah.
You're not helping me.
No, I'm backing the underdogs. We continue now with our third story. Health advocate lobbies for the implementation of a tax on sugar-sweetened beverages in St. Kitts and Nevis. This from Win Media. In a 3-part op-ed, Iseline Phillip, a senior advocacy officer at Lake Health and Wellbeing, a local non-governmental organization, advocated for the implementation of a sugar-sweetened beverage tax as a public health policy intervention to combat non-communicable diseases. According to Phillip, the sugar-sweetened beverage taxation is a standard effective policy adopted by government to deter the purchase and consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages. In the series, Phillip outlined the advantage of implementing the tax on the health of the people of the Federation, where there is a high prevalence of non-communicable diseases, especially diabetes. What do you think of that? Because we normally gravitate to the things that we shouldn't have.
Well, there you go. So if it attracts a higher price, maybe we won't.
I think some of us might be willing to, but I hope it's high enough that we won't buy it.
You
just
say that as if the
saying.
tax would not deter you, Hortensia.
Yeah, it may not, but it's a good initiative.
Interesting.
When you want something, you pay whatever it is for it, right?
I guess. Okay, I'm all for. Here's what we'll do. We're gonna champion that story. Of course, that's a great cause. By the way,
Yes.
any of you people who own gyms and want to go down to $50 a month, that's great as well. Let's go. But let's balance things out. All right. That being said, we are going to take a brief break, but we'll be back with regional and international news when we come back on Good Morning SKN. Stay tuned, everyone.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Welcome back to Good Morning SK, and we now continue with the latest in regional news. This from Barbados Today. The Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, SEDEMA, is deploying a two-man team to travel to Suriname to assess the impact of heavy flooding caused by recent heavy rainfall. This follows a declaration on Wednesday, May 25th, from President of Suriname, Chan Santaki, that several districts in the interior and southern sections have been severely impacted due to continuous rainfall, which started as early as March, affecting agricultural crops, roads, electricity, housing, and schools. The SEDEMA Response Support Mission is being led by Program Manager, Preparedness and Response, Joanne Prasad, who is supported by Navendra Prasad from the Disaster Preparedness Office in Trinidad and Tobago. The one-week mission will assess the situation on the ground and help with determining the response and humanitarian needs of the country. Oh.
Every time you look around, something's going wrong somewhere.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. A lot of things are going right as well. Well, aren't they? Or do we not cover? Hortensia, come on.
Oh, I'm trying here because I don't know if you've noticed, but lately it's been more negativity than positivity in the news.
Oh, okay. So this is what I'll do. All right. So here's what we'll do. This is our challenge for tomorrow. We're gonna find some positive news. We're not gonna say only good news. Shout out to Minoite here. We're not gonna say only good news, but we're gonna find it.
But
we had some positive stories.
We
Yes, did.
have had, but I'm just saying, when it's not flooding, it's war, it's femicide, it's just everything. Like I'm praying every day for it to all go away. Although I know it won't immediately, but I'm still praying.
Well, I imagine the next story that you have on the international scene is going to be good news. Fingers crossed. Here
Lovely. This from The Guardian. Anthony Albanese, the new Australian Prime Minister, has boasted of appointing a record number of women to his cabinet and ministry as the Prime Minister announced a frontbench team that shifted Richard Marles into defense and Claire O'Neill into home affairs. Tanya Pilbersek has been given responsibility for environment and water, and Chris Bowen is the climate and energy minister as expected, while campaign spokesperson Jason Clare moves into education. A number of newcomers, including Annika Wells, Christy McBean, Jed Kearney, and Anne Ailey, were promoted into the ministry. So power of the woman.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's the way the story began. So he's obviously boasting about that.
Yeah, so the first story was the bomb. We are recognizing the boys, so we are recognizing the young men, so we are breaking the bias. And the last story is the women are touching the glass ceiling.
You guys are touching the glass ceiling? I've heard about this glass ceiling for so long. I
okay,
imagine
we
it
have
has
broken
cracks.
the glass ceiling. Let me say,
I
we
imagine
have
it's
broken
cracks.
the glass ceiling. Look
say.
at us, look at us. All in cabinet, in charge of stuff, our big folders.
I'm gonna start walking around with an umbrella because I don't want the cracks of glass to hit me. Is that good? Can we do umbrellas indoors now? There's a glass.
No, we are gonna be kind to you. We are gonna be kind to you. Well, folks, there you have it for regional and international news. We ask that you stay tuned. Up next, we have Reflections. See you on the other side of the break.
The continued fight against COVID-19 requires the continued practice of public health measures across all sectors and in every community. Frequent and proper hand washing, wearing face masks, and physical distancing. Do you know who is not physical distancing? The Aedes aegypti mosquito. Let's avoid overloading our healthcare systems. This means simultaneously protecting yourselves and your loved ones from all disease, including mosquito-borne illness like dengue fever, Zika, and chikungunya viruses. Did you know that dengue is the most common mosquito-borne viral disease in the world? So let's get to work. Use window and door screens to keep mosquitoes out. Change the water in vases and scrub inside surfaces to remove mosquito eggs. Avoid using saucers with potted plants to prevent collection of water. Securely cover water barrels and drums with mosquito netting and properly fitted covers. Scrub the inside walls of water barrels and drums with detergent 1 to 2 times per week. Walk around the outside of your home and remove or overturn containers that can collect water and become breeding sites. Mosquitoes only need a small amount of water to lay their eggs. Remove unwanted cans, bottles, buckets, or used tires. Other items still in use must be properly stored in covered areas to avoid water settling in them. Clean roof gutters and air conditioner trays. Debushing and removing tall grass from around your home or establishment is also key to reducing mosquito populations. To decrease your risk of being bitten by infected mosquitoes, use proven personal protective methods too. Apply an effective mosquito repellent to exposed areas of skin according to manufacturer's instructions. Wear light-colored long pants and shirts while outdoors in the early morning and late afternoons. Further, protect vulnerable family members like pregnant women, children, the elderly, and persons who are unwell by using mosquito nets to sleep or rest, even during the day. Fight the bite and protect yourself and your family too from mosquito-borne diseases. This message is brought to you by the Pan American Health Organization, Office for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries.
As a hypertensive patient, in my home, I reduce salt intake by not adding salt during the preparation of my food, not having a salt shaker on my table, limiting the consumption of salty snacks, and choosing products with low sodium content. That's why I am salt smart.
Children, how can you tell a tsunami coming?
Teacher me.
Sammy?
My mother said, when uncle jump in the pool and the water spoosh out, that's how you tell a tsunami coming.
Settle down, children, settle down. Do you remember our tsunami song?
Yes! When you feel like shaking and it's moving around, you see the ocean gone left the fish and the sand. You should run, run, run to higher ground, 'cause tsunami soon come.
Mommy, Uncle not here and the other shake.
Hush your mouth.
Daddy, Uncle not here and the sea gone.
Who cares? You don't see all them free fish? Quick, give me the bag.
This is how you tell us tsunami a come. Teacher says so. I would have failed in school, you know.
Sammy, come, let me go. They would have failed anyhow. Let me run, see Sammy.
When you feel the earth shaking and it's moving all around, you see the ocean gone left the fish and the sand. You should run, run, run to higher ground, 'cause tsunami soon come.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Yeah. I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be one safe. Kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll out. Yeah. 'Cause no man's alone. Do what's right. Alright. 'Cause I love you. Brother, my sister. And we're in this together. My sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Hey, I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to roll up to roll out.
Hi. If you are a smoker, please pay attention to this message. According to the World Health Organization, there are 1.3 billion smokers in the world today, and tobacco kills 1 out of every 2 smokers. Did you know that there is enough nicotine in 5 cigarettes to kill an average adult if ingested whole? There are more than 7,000 chemicals in tobacco smoke, of which more than 250 are known to be harmful. More than 69 are known to cause cancer, and 16 are classified as Group 1 carcinogens. Smoking kills. Are you ignoring that warning every time you smoke? Please stop. Smoking can lead to severe health complications and even death. It affects almost every organ in the body, especially the lungs and heart. It raises blood pressure, increases blood clots, and increases the risk of stroke, heart attack, and cancer. It is hard to quit smoking, but it is not impossible. Don't let tobacco destroy you. Remember the 4 Ds to curb your tobacco cravings. 1. Delay. Set a time limit before you decide to smoke. 2. Drink water. Go get a drink before you do anything else. 3. Do something else. Have a goodie bag handy of other things to do. And 4. Deep breathing. Take at least 10 deep breaths every time you think about smoking. Quit smoking and live a longer and happier life. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health, St. Kitts and Nevis. Back to Good Morning SKN. For those of you joining us now, it is a indeed a pleasure to have you. Sometimes in life we have certain goals that we have to try and try and try again until we attain them. Yeah, we all know that, the try and try again, right? We certainly had to put in the work. Viewing audience, can you relate? Oh, I sure you can. It might be riding a bike or a skateboard, doing the hula hoop, or even just running. The goal is to get my voice in order.
I was going to say.
Running that extra mile when you go for a jog. But it does not have to be physical. It can be things like going to get the driver's license. Remember that moment of exhilaration when you finally achieve that goal. Today, Jamie and I are going to tell you about some of those moments when we had to try several times to achieve something, and then that sense of pride and accomplishment that we felt when we got it done. And we want you to comment on your moments of great pride and joy after putting in the work. So let's begin.
I'm sorry, I'm needing the sofa for this segment because this seems like a confessional. So I'm going to tell you, right?
Oh, man.
Where is Michelle Delacadre? Are you here?
I know.
Is she in the room? All right, I'm kidding. I was remembering, of course, that confessional, those moments when we had, to talk with her about those things.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so those moments when we had to try again. Let's see.
Oh, man.
Mathematics, definitely. School, one of those moments when you had to try again.
Yes.
The anxiety builds when you think that things are challenging, doesn't it?
It does. Because as I said yesterday, I was quite nervous because I'm like, oh my God, I got to do maths on television for the world to see.
For the world to see. Yes, you did it and you achieved it.
I did.
So you just pushed right through. And it was one attempt for you. So that's great. It wasn't the case where you had to try again. But there were moments when we have to do that.
Yes.
One of the things that I know of that I tried again with was definitely riding a bike. I told you yesterday that, when we were joking around about it, that I got scars because, the chain messed me up.
Oh my gosh.
Until I learned to balance. And then I never forgot it.
Well, I'm trying again because I was supposed to have Spanish fully. I was supposed to be fluent in Spanish at 40. That's not the case, So I got to keep trying. And then I was supposed to lose some weight by my birthday. That didn't work.
Well,
I tried, but it didn't work. It's still up and down.
Listen, I'm going to throw this out there, right? It's a known belief that women tend to lie about their ages anyway. So guess what? Don't say your real age, and that way you'll meet your goal.
No.
Yeah, I said it.
What is this? No. But why lie about the age?
I don't know. So you're not around people who actually lie about their ages?
I don't know that to be true because the people that I'm around, I know their ages.
You know their
correct
ages. But I know that it's not proper etiquette to ask a woman her age. Now if they volunteer, it's
so
fine.
They say.
They say that, but hey, you know what? Hey, 40s and you're 25?
Yeah. I'm 39 and I'm proud of it.
Okay, so that makes you 24, 23. There you go.
You mean in fake age?
I'm kidding.
In fake age, I could be
kidding.
25.
I'm kidding.
So I'm going to take a 25.
Yeah, we definitely can't try youth again as much as we'd like to. We can't try youth again. Well,
we can.
We can?
If we were rich, we'd just pay.
You were a case,
Pull this.
Guys, ignore
pull
quartets
that,
here.
Straighten this. Bring this up a bit. Shave off some of this. How about that?
Nah.
Goals.
Nah. Goals? Okay, let's talk seriously.
Not mine.
Because you're talking about things like that, cosmetic stuff, okay? So let's consider the moment when you first started to comb your hair. Or did you use plaits or whatever it is that you girls do? Were you good at that? Do you remember at all how many times you had to do that to get it right?
No, my favorite hairstyle when I began combing my own hair was putting it in one. Probably still is. But you felt a sense of independence, for real. You felt that sense of independence that, oh my God, I'm a woman now. I'm growing up.
Really?
My mom doesn't comb my hair anymore. I'm not going to have 4 plaits to go to school anymore.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you, I was joking around earlier that my cousin, I think he was probably about 3 or 4 at the time, his name is Khalil, and he asked me to tie his shoelace, and I did it, and then it was undone within like 15 seconds, and he was like, Jamie, you can't tie shoelaces. Well, guess what? Khalil, you were absolutely right, because even now I need to tie my shoelaces again.
Oh, my word. They're becoming undone.
That is something that I have to try.
So you're still working on that, right?
Again at, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what other goals
you're trying at? What other? I don't know. Running that extra mile, I guess. Getting back up to that 8 mile. Yeah, that's a whole lot of effort. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
So whilst you run that 8 mile, who do you listen to? Eminem?
No Eminem. Although that would have been cool because it's like, yeah, that's
Yeah, you
motivation
got
to
an
go.
8 mile, yeah.
Definitely listen to a beat. You need those upbeat. So like dance music.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice,
you got to
nice.
do it because
Techno?
you got to keep the pace. Yeah, because if I don't have any music on, you know what happens, right? I hear every step. No lie. And it's like
Oh, you
I'm
don't
counting
wanna hear
steps.
it.
I'm not
Okay.
counting, I'm counting steps. Literally, I'm going 1, 2, out of breath, 3, 4. Go some more,
So, but you see, at least you have a rhyme, a poem to go with your steps.
The radio is always good.
Oh,
Radio
it is
always
music. Everything is done better with music. What other goals do I have? Just to get my languages in check, because I was supposed to have Spanish, especially on June, German next. Maybe a little bit of the language of love, oui, France. My next
The
goal
way
is to
you
go
say
back
that.
to school from kindergarten right up. I don't know if
That
I'm
is
gonna
not a
achieve that
realistic goal. Come on,
That
come
is
on.
realistic.
Make the goal measurable. Your
to
goal,
go back to school
guys,
from kindergarten up.
I am telling you seriously. Your
I
goal,
will be done with kindergarten in 2 weeks. So then I'll just advance. Because
Oh,
I
wow.
won't spend the average time that I would need to spend in kindergarten.
You
Because
realize
I
you're
already
saying
have
this
the
on air, right?
basics. Yeah, I am.
You realize you're saying this on air. So what's going to happen is that
Somebody's going to call me.
our executive program manager is going to get the idea to send you to a kindergarten class with a camera.
Yeah. Oh my God, and that will be fun.
Be careful
My day,
what you wish
Cortense's day
for.
at kindergarten. That is going to
Be
be
careful
so
what you wish
cool.
for.
But what else? Realistically, as Jamie said.
It's weird. You find these, and I asked this question
Mm-hmm.
before, when it comes to New Year's resolutions and you're thinking about goals that you have and goals that you have for the year, we all get to that point, at least most of us, I suspect, we say, you know what, it's a new year, we're going to turn over that new leaf, and then by February it's like, oh wait, forget it.
I normally head downhill by March. But I do a good 3 month stint. Yeah, and I always wonder why. Why am I being so pessimistic? Why is it I don't want to do it anymore? Or I come up with a pain now that I'm getting old, I'm realizing that my body has pains and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's keeping me back. So
That's
it's
funny.
stunting my goal.
But I want to know if you have any of those goals that you want to resurrect. Goals
Yeah, as
from
I
New
said.
Year's. So those were your New Year's resolutions?
The weight loss, and the languages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, those are good goals, guys. We want to know what your goals are. If you're
Yes,
willing
let
to
us
share
know.
your goals with us. Some of us have very tiny goals. Some of us have really big goals. And whatever you're doing to advance yourselves, let us know, right? So at Studio 327 INC, that's where you'll find us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Let us know what's going on with you as we work on our goals together. And of course, remember that Cortensia just pledged here that she's going back to kindergarten, so you can hold her to that. If you don't see her back in kindergarten on camera in about 1 or 2 months, then you know who to take it up with, right? Studio327inc.com. That's it. Info at studio327inc.com. Report her to the principal at info at studio327inc.com.
He's not going to live it down.
Speaking of that, we're going to take the bell's going to ring for break right now, proverbially, of course. And we'll be back in a moment with more Good Morning SKN.
Stay tuned.
Hi. If you are a smoker, please pay attention to this message.
Children, how can you tell a tsunami coming?
Teacher me.
Sammy?
My mother said, when uncle jump in the pool and the water spoosh out, that's how you tell a tsunami coming.
Settle down, children, settle down. Do you remember our tsunami song?
Yes! When you feel like shaking and it's moving around, you see the ocean gone left the fish and the sand. You should run, to hide on, a tsunami soon come.
Mommy, uncle not here and the other shake.
Hush your mouth.
Daddy, uncle not here and the sea gone.
Who cares? You don't see all them free fish? Quick, give me the bag.
This is how you tell a tsunami a come. Teacher says so. I would have failed in school, you know.
Sammy, come, let me go. They would have failed anyhow. Let me run, see Sammy.
It's been 6 months now and Glenn hasn't been working. His attitude has completely changed and he's been leaving the house every day for hours and liming with his friends and coming home drunk and causing confusion.
Gloria, this is what you cook today? This is not enough food for a big man like me.
But Glenn, it's been 6 months now. You haven't given me any money to shop for food.
Okay, so what you want me to do if my boss ain't called me out for work as yet?
Look for a different job now.
What you just said to me?
Get a next job.
What?
Help! Let me
Let
go!
go what? Yeah, let's see what we at me. Let go what? Watch your mouth with me now.
The weekend mom and dad fight. When are they going to stop?
Domestic violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, economical, and psychological. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
As a hypertensive patient, in my home, I reduce salt intake by not adding salt during the preparation of my food, not having a salt shaker on my table, limiting the consumption of salty snacks, and choosing products with low sodium content. That's why I am salt smart.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are now going into our segment called Reflections. Today, for that segment, we have Ras Iroy, Ras Aya, and Ras Trust Me. So last week, the Nyabingi Theocracy Order Church of His and Her Imperial Majesties, Haile Selassie I and Empress Menen, hosted a week of activities from the 22nd to the 29th of May in celebration of African Liberation Day. This week of activities was centered around the theme, building bridges between Africa and the Caribbean, connecting the past, the present, and the future. As I said before, we have the pleasure of speaking with Ras Iroy, Ras Aya, and Ras Trust Me about this. Welcome to Reflections on Good Morning SKN, gentlemen.
Welcome, gentlemen.
All right, so to get the conversations started, Ras Iroy, this one will be directed to you. What is the origin of the African Liberation Day celebration?
Greetings to ones and ones again. The whole origin of the African Liberation Day celebration would have started way back in Accra, Ghana, on the 15th of April in 1958, when it was about 7 or 8 African heads of state came together, dealing with the issues of colonialism, basically saying, hey, this is enough. And then the whole effort of Ghana's independence and the independence of many other states would have led to a even more successful meeting 5 years after, when the African heads of state, about 32 at that time, would have come together and decide, hey, we continuing on this mission. We would have set some objectives as to how we can, number one, celebrate the achievements of our people, look into the present situation, and planning our way forward, how to survive and be successful and avoiding the whole colonial domination which they were facing at the time. So it was really a consolidated effort of heads of states in the African continent to really fight and as much as possible to get rid of colonialism and for Africa to be liberated and be able to carry on its own.
Well, thank you. That's a whole lot of information, and I can see the relevance of it.
So, Ras Aya, here's my question for you. Can you tell us about the meaning of the team?
Basically, so let me emphasize that the team that we received was today of the week activity that was coming from the 22nd, 29th, is based on building bridges between Africa and the Caribbean, connecting the past, the present, and the future. And the emphasis is based on how we see now, not just in the Caribbean aspect alone, but whole entire whole of African people in the diaspora and in the continent, because we really find much of our people in the continent and in the diaspora have been find themselves neglected of the real purpose of African people. And we say this is a way forward now that we mobilize and find ourselves of who we are as a people, binding together the form for unification.
Again, meaningful information indeed, and I can see as well the relevance of that. Ras, trust me not to leave you out at all. Why don't you tell us about the activities that were held the past week?
Greetings, give thanks. Well, the week of activities started on Sunday down at the market in Sandy Point, where we had some ISIS and shared some information as to the origin of African Liberation Day and how it started and when it started. Then the week continued on Monday, where we had a brief call-in on ZIZ Radio, where we were able to share with the general public as to the activities for the week as well as the theme. On Wednesday, the actual African Liberation Day, we visited 2 primary schools, namely the Irish Town Primary School and the Dr. William Connor Primary School, where we made presentations to the children about African Liberation Day, about the theme, and try to enlighten them a little bit about the day, its origin, and being African, you know what I mean? I, for one, share the phrase, no matter where you come from, as long as you're a black man, you're an African. I even encourage them to end discrimination, you know what I mean? Because all our differences are what makes us special. So not because my hair is longer than yours, or you have straight hair here, my eye is bigger than yours, that don't make you better than me or I better than you. You know, so that was well received. Then in the afternoon, we were part of the issues program on Freedom FM, where we had a discussion surrounding the theme. That also continued on Thursday on ZIZ Radio and Frank and Candid as well, where we had different persons going to share what African Liberation Day means and where and how it came about. Friday, we encourage persons to wear African attire And on Saturday, we had the grand rally in the Independence Square where we saw many different presentations, song, dance, poetry. And we had our featured speaker being Brother Juni Leibod, who came and made a presentation as the guest speaker for that activity. And the week climaxed in Nevis, where we traveled over to support the One Love Rastafari movement and Nevis for their African Liberation Day on the Sunday at Natural Liberty Farm, which kind of brought the week of activities to a close, which saw the collaboration of both Farai and Nevis and St. Kitts coming together to celebrate and share in African Liberation Day. Give thanks.
Okay, I like the inclusion of Nevis as well. So it wasn't just on St. Kitts alone.
No, it was not on St. Kitts alone. We journeyed over to Nevis to celebrate with the One Love Rastafari movement in Nevis on the Sunday. Great. Because they came over to celebrate with us on the Saturday.
Lovely,
which is, yeah, so, yeah, we give thanks for that.
Well, I have to say, in listening to you, Ras-I, when you talked about the school visits, that resonated with me because when I asked you the question initially, I was curious as to how you would speak about African Liberation Day in a way that students would understand. And yet you said to me, you spoke to them about discrimination. You spoke to them about, you know, the nose and the color of the hair and all of those things that is very important for them to understand now so that we don't go on, you know, they don't grow up to be, let's say, hating one another or feeling that they're better than, and in a way not unified as a people. So I love the way that you express that. We're going to continue this discussion when we come back from this break, and we'll hear more about Africa Liberation Day and your respective roles. More Good Morning SKN in a moment. Stay tuned, everyone.
It's been 6 months now, and Glenn hasn't been working.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Consuming foods like bananas, potatoes, and dried peas and beans, such as lentils and kidney beans, contains potassium, which helps to reduce salt in the body.
These teen boys nowadays get me so upset. I see these teen girls with their big bellies and you want to tell me y'all couldn't protect her and yourself? Come on. Now don't tell me no stupidness about you feel embarrassed about getting a pack of condoms or asking somebody for one. That ain't nothing to be ashamed about. You should be proud that you are making a wise decision, but you still have to abstain from having sex with someone under the age of consent. If your boys are pressuring you to have sex and you don't want to, then don't. You are in charge of your life, not them. I heard another one saying it's sweeter without a condom. But my granny always told me, no glove, no love. So let me tell you something. It's sweeter to have money in your pockets and not have to support a child at that young age. Before I say anything else, the best way to prevent teenage pregnancy is to abstain. In other words, no do it. Let me talk to the big men troubling underage girls.
Why you sleeping with your daughter? You not live clean. Your girl at 16, and your daughter at 13. So girl look me, but me no in that. Big man no deal with back pan back.
You understand where I'm coming from, right?
This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. As we continue this engaging conversation with Ras Iroy, Ras Aya, and Ras Trust Me about the African Liberation Day week of activities held from the 22nd to the 29th May. So we will continue with Ras Aya. The culmination of the week of activities was the African Liberation Day Solidarity Rally. Give us some insight into how this activity came off.
Basically, for my period of time, giving time to this kind of data, we are able to see that the night being when we find that at time when the exact event of the 25th of May utilize the climax of celebrating solidarity on the Saturday to the week that fall for the highlight of the event, the 25th of May. So we realize that and even much of the Caribbean islands don't have African Liberation Day as a holiday in their calendar. And even on the African continent, we only 12 out of all 54 African countries have it as a holiday. So if we say we use this gesture to say, instead of maintaining ourselves on the actual date of the holiday or that fall in the week, instead we utilize the Saturday to impact for the public that they could be able to have something to come and go to as a celebration. So that's why the night being the solidarity rally.
Well, that makes sense because since it's not a holiday, more people will be able to attend on the Saturday. That makes perfect sense to me. All right, so Ras Iroy, we already know that the final event was an African Market Day at Natural Liberty Holistic Farm in Nevis. What were some of the highlights from that particular activity?
Yes, the inclusion, of course, is always remarkable, and that we saw in St. Kitts as well. You know, we saw youths, we saw elders, we saw people of different ethnic backgrounds, you know, different races. You had politicians, you had Rasta, you had what we call the bald head, you know, and we saw very much of that in Nevis. Nevis was a little closer knit in terms of the whole settings. There were activities involving the general public in that, you know, there were games of domino, people playing worry, different activities that would have been rooted in the whole African background, our whole history and heritage. We also focused somewhat on a display reflecting the good old days in things that were used in, you know, by us as a people, whether on the continent or here in the diaspora. You know, some of the old-time housewares and baskets, and the youths were able to see the connection between a goose and an electric iron, you know, just for example. But what was also, what stood out a lot for me was really how we had, you know, the different persons playing their roles. You know, we had people from the government officials, we had people from the government officiating in different areas. We in Nevis, even though the crowd is usually smaller, there's always that cohesion, you know, where the activities are more involved, as opposed to just being able to sit and be entertained. You actually got involved. And of course, the participation of our brethren from St. Kitts, you know, really made a difference. It's always good when we have that collective.
Okay. Ras Ira, you mentioned the difference between the iron and the goose. Can you explain that?
The goose was what was used, well, one of the things used back then to iron the clothes. The goose had a receptacle where you actually put coals in. So you had live fire in your goose, and that fire was transferred to the base, which is the plate that you use and iron your clothes.
Yes. Okay.
And so you had to be able to use the little hole to adjust the heat and so on. These days, now you just plug your iron into the electrical outlet
and turn the dial.
And turn the dial, you know. And trust me, you know, the goose did a good job.
Okay.
So I heard. Trust me, I've been hearing about the goose for a long time.
The children were amazing, you know. But a lot of them would have been familiar with it. The schools and the community development department and so on do quite a good job of that as well.
Okay, lovely.
Well, I love the fact that you were able to do that, and even the way that you're explaining what happened now, it makes it real, and I can understand why the theme is what it is, because there are connections to be made, and in every facet of, you know, our life and the way that you make those linkages, you can see that, and I love the way that you're including all people from all walks of life in that quest. One final question this goes out to any of you, so who feels free to answer this one? Why do you think it is important for African Liberation Day to be celebrated?
I would like to answer that. I would like to say this here point blank. African Liberation Day should be celebrated in the all African people, whether in the continent or outside the continent. I would say a quote from one of our pioneers in the liberation struggle, Kwame Nkrumah. He said, even though if I was born in Africa, and if I was not born in Africa, I will still consider myself being an African. But the consideration is not that you have to born in Africa. It's about bringing the whole sum of our people and the struggle that we have gone through. And the emphasis that he will be able to bring to as a light to shine is that the much unite, being one accord to make sure that African people have an understanding to the world of it. And that's why we should be able to bring the emphasis of celebrating African liberation. Because we just yes,
I so hate to cut you off, but that is a great word to end on, that word of unity. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but I do want to thank you for all of you, by the way, for sharing such pertinent information with us. And I'm certain this, again, will not be our last conversation because there's so much more to talk about. So we're only just scratching the surface. So thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this morning. We really do appreciate it. More Good Morning SKN. Stay tuned, everyone.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The continued fight against COVID-19 requires the continued practice of public health measures across all sectors and in every community. Frequent and proper hand washing, wearing face masks, and physical distancing. Do you know who is not physical distancing? The Aedes aegypti mosquito. Let's avoid overloading our healthcare systems. This means simultaneously protecting yourselves and your loved ones from all disease, including mosquito-borne illness like dengue fever, Zika, and chikungunya viruses. Did you know that dengue is the most common mosquito-borne viral disease in the world? So let's get to work. Use window and door screens to keep mosquitoes out. Change the water in vases and scrub inside surfaces to remove mosquito eggs. Avoid using saucers with potted plants to prevent collection of water. Securely cover water barrels and drums with mosquito netting and properly fitted covers. Scrub the inside walls of water barrels and drums with detergent 1 to 2 times per week. Walk around the outside of your home and remove or overturn containers that can collect water and become breeding sites. Mosquitoes only need a small amount of water to lay their eggs. Remove unwanted cans, bottles, buckets, or used tires. Other items still in use must be properly stored in covered areas to avoid water settling in them. Clean roof gutters and air conditioner trays. Debushing and removing tall grass from around your home or establishment is also key to reducing mosquito populations. To decrease your risk of being bitten by infected mosquitoes, use proven personal protective methods too. Apply an effective mosquito repellent to exposed areas of skin according to manufacturer's instructions. Wear light-colored long pants and shirts while outdoors in the early morning and late afternoons. Further, protect vulnerable family members like pregnant women, children, the elderly, and persons who are unwell by using mosquito nets to sleep or rest, even during the day. Fight the bite and protect yourself and your family too from mosquito-borne diseases. This message is brought to you by the Pan American Health Organization, Office for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries.
As a hypertensive patient, in my home, I reduce salt intake by not adding salt during the preparation of my food, not having a salt shaker on my table, limiting the consumption of salty snacks, and choosing products with low sodium content. That's why I am salt smart.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. If you're just joining us, we welcome you. The Atlantic hurricane season has officially begun and it will run from June to November. Mr. Abdia Samuel, the National Disaster Coordinator at the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, is here to tell us all about it and some other things done by the agency that he heads. So, welcome, Mr. Samuel, to Good Morning SKN.
Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. It's a pleasure being here as well. It's fine. I've been watching the show now and again, so it's nice to now come and have a discussion with you. And now to your viewers as
It's
well.
good to see you in person because I know that our viewers recognize your face because you have been at the forefront of our fight against COVID-19. So I'd like to publicly say that it's a good job that your agency did in managing the task force and everything. So thank you for the work that you've done.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you guys for the job you are doing in terms of educating the general public, you know, bringing different things to light, which is critical in terms of information and, you know, education. It's about setting a culture.
Oh,
absolutely right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate that. So without too much scientific details, what causes hurricane and why do they head our way?
Well, it's important for us to know that St. Kitts and Nevis, our geographical location at this time, makes us susceptible to hurricanes. So for 5 to 6 months of the year, we become under the threat of hurricanes. There's a combination of atmospheric activities that causes hurricanes.
Okay.
And just before coming here, I was in consultation with the senior Met officer, Mr. Elmer Burke, where we were discussing the forecast we have been given by the Colorado State University, but most importantly by the National Hurricane Center in the United States of America. And we know about the El Nino and La Nina effect, and at this moment, the prediction is based on La Nina effect. So meaning that we're going to have warm seas, which makes it more susceptible to intensified hurricanes or tropical activities. So then when you have the combination of warm sea levels, moistures in the atmosphere, as well as disorganized systems, as well as the wind associated off the west coast of Africa that drives the hurricanes. All of these things combined together causes these hurricane activities. I don't want to get into the scientific and confuse people. So just, you know, basic. So you have the wind, the warm. So you just imagine you have like this whirlpool just created in the seas, and the wind around it going around and around. And also you have some wind pushing it, the trade winds pushing it. So eventually as you get warm, then it intensifies. The winds intensify because it becomes organized. And from there on, then you have a system that would affect landmass.
So why does all these bad things have to be connoted to females? Because La Nina means girl. So why?
He said El Nino too.
But at this point, it's not related to El Nino. It's related to La Nina.
I won't comment.
Thank you. I do hear the same.
As in disaster management, we have to be gender sensitive. Yes.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you. I love it.
I just had to put that out there.
Definitely.
So a few years ago, I think that all of us in the region here could appreciate the fact that hurricanes are not new to us, but definitely when we had a Category 5 heading our way, I remember for the first time I was in my house and I heard what sounded like the pitter-patter of a million men, because that terrified me to the point where I thought I was going to lose my roof. So is there a distinction between, you know, a hurricane that's just normal, maybe Category 1, Category 2, and a disaster type hurricane? And if so, can you shed light on that?
Wonderful, wonderful. So you know that in the Caribbean region, we use the Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale model. What is that? So back in 1971, there was a civil engineer named Saffir, and there was a meteorologist named Simpson. He was the director of the National Hurricane Center in Miami.
Okay.
So they came up with some algorithms, and the algorithms were based on the measurement of the wind speed in the storm for 1 minute. Okay. So they measure the wind storm for 1 minute, and based on that, they look at the intensity. So each category will intensify by 10 times. That was the algorithm that they used. So we have Category 1 to Category 5. So it's a scale from 1 to 5. So you start at anything over 74 miles an hour to about 96 miles an hour is a Category 1, where you would experience some damages. Not extensive damage, but that sound what you said, you're consistent with that. Then if it intensifies more, then you move to a Category 2, which is from approximately 111 miles per hour. Sorry, from 95 miles per hour to 110 miles per hour. That's Category 2, where you will experience some extensive damage, wind damage, that is. Just imagine somebody driving 95 miles an hour. If you ever been on the highway in the United States sometimes, and you see these cars pass you at 80 miles per hour, you realize something there, you know? Just imagine that with wind. Okay? So then the Category 2, then you intensify to a Category 3, which is approximately 111 to approximately 130 miles per hour. There you will have some what we call some devastating damage, okay? Or catastrophic damage.
Okay.
Category 4 now, you are looking at that, it's intensifying at 10 times that. So it's going to move from 131 miles an hour to approximately 156 miles an hour. Anything now over, that's Category 4, where those are now, you know, devastating. Very devastating. This is where you're going to feel your roof coming off. You're going to lose shingles, you're going to lose doors, you're going to lose windows if you're not properly, you know. And even if you sometimes have them properly bad off, then you're going to lose something. And then you could actually see shrubs, trees being actually pulled out of the ground, rooted, and you see them become flying projectile. And any loose items that you have around. I don't know if you have ever seen lampposts, actually metal lampposts bent by these winds. So those things it's so powerful. But then we reach to a Category 5, and we have seen the experiences of what a Category 5 can do to any landmass that is populated or unpopulated. And we have the experiences of Irma and Maria, whereby in less than 24 hours, in less a few hours, they intensified from a Category 2-3 to a Category 5, devastating Dominica back in 2017. So we have seen the intensification of these into Category 5. So Category 5 now is anything in excess of 156 miles per hour. I don't know if you want to say it, because Superintendent Henry might be watching you, but I don't know if any one of us here can drive 156 miles per hour on our streets. You could imagine the sheer speed of that.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are the category, and those are some of the damages that you can expect with those categories.
And with that, it's going to be important to talk about preparedness and what we can do to prepare for such devastation should it come our way. We'll be back to talk with you more right after this. More Good Morning SKN in a flash. Stay tuned.
You ever hear earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might broke up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are speaking with Abdias Samuel, the coordinator at the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. We're talking all about hurricanes and hurricane preparedness. And Abdias, I asked you a little earlier about the projections for the storms heading our way, even the named storms in general. What can you tell us about that?
Sure. What I love about this year, we have a prime minister actually as the name, Gaston.
Gaston.
So I think Antigua and Barbuda, as I was teasing my colleagues, Sherrod James over there, they have to prepare. Obviously. They have to prepare.
Yes.
Right. But so if they prepare, they are our neighbors, so we have to prepare in St. Kitts and Nevis as well. So yes, the National Hurricane Center has advised that we should expect in the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season 14 to 21 named storms.
Okay.
6 to 10 of those will become hurricane. Out of those 6 to 10, 3 to 6 will become major hurricanes, meaning that they are going to be category 3 and up. So that's upwards of 111 miles per hour wind speed, up to 156, even higher. There is also a discussion that the scientists are having that maybe we need to look at a category 6 because they feel due to the climate situation and challenges, we may have to increase the category because we are going to see storms intensify as we move along if we continue with this global warming.
That is alarming.
Yes, it is. It is. It is. So that is what we're expecting in the Caribbean region now, and we are seeing in the Northeast in particular. The CIMH has advised us basically. They're not a forecasting, but they are the ones who give us, hydrology and meteorology. And what they have said is that we are facing some heavy drought situation in the Northeast in particular. I don't know right now if many citizens, if you know, but many citizens are facing water challenges in St. Kitts and Nevis.
By 8 o'clock.
By 8 o'clock, you see that we have to ration water in order for us to sustain our water wells. Yeah. That in itself can become a compound crisis for us here in St. Kitts and Nevis. So we have been in discussion with the water department and the other critical agencies such as environment and others to look at how do we build resiliency in this area because it impacts everything. Now, why is this important? Because the warming that we are experiencing is conducive to tropical storms, which then becomes hurricanes. And in St. Kitts and Nevis in particular, we have to prepare. We have been spared for the past few years. We have not been impacted by a hurricane for the past 7 to 8 years.
Good stuff.
In 2017, we were not impacted. I want to make that clear. We were not impacted. We were affected by the passage of Irma and Maria. And we saw what that did to us.
Okay.
We now have to prepare for a potential direct impact.
Okay.
So if we want to be a resilient nation, where the lives and livelihoods and the economy of our country is resilient, we have to prepare. We have to listen to the authorities. We are being guided by experts throughout the world. We are in consultation on a regular basis with our parent company, which is CDMO, the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, and they are providing guidance for us to be able to prepare our countries. They call them participating states. We have to prepare. That's the reality. This is not about fear. This is about reality.
Just a follow-up question before Hortensio jumps in. The follow-up question to me is, what is your gauge for preparedness? Is there one?
Great. We look at the impact from a socioeconomic level. We have to look at the social safety nets that are in place for the back and running, operational in a short period of time. That is what will give us the resilience and put us at a competitive edge. We being a tourism-based country, we have to take that into consideration. And through COVID, which I'll hopefully get a few minutes to tell you about, that taught us a big lesson.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah.
So we speak about preparedness.
Yes.
I want to touch on the shelters. Okay. Where are the shelters located? And you also speak on immigrants. Yes. And we know we have a large Spanish-speaking population. Yes. The French is slowly growing. At these centers, would they be persons that speak, will they be bilingual persons, let me put it that way? And can you tell us where the shelters are located around the island?
Wonderful. So the shelter list, as it is right now, is the shelter list from 2021.
Okay.
The 2022 shelter is not finalized as it. Constituency 2 is District 2. So that is we go around. So we have 8 districts on St. Kitts and 5 parishes on Nevis. Okay. So in each district, we have what you call a primary shelter, and we have the secondary shelters. The primary shelters is the main shelters where persons can go. Okay? Now, in each district, we do try to have sufficient shelters for the number of persons who live or reside in that district. So we have the information from the Statistics Department according to the Housing and Population Census, and that is what we use to guide us in terms of the statistics, knowing how many persons reside in these areas. So it's a very extensive process. Now, the reality is we do not have sufficient physical space to house everyone. That's the reality. I'm just being frank with the general public, and this is something that I have spoken to with the authorities. Okay. Now, at present, we have capacity for about 2,000 persons. I have to find space for another 8,000 persons because we need to have the capacity for approximately 10,000 persons. Okay. No, so what is the contingency to that? The contingency to that is that we first advocate for what we call the buddy system. Be your neighbor's keeper. Okay. So if my house is stronger and I have a little room that could allow my neighbor who has a little shack, I would allow my neighbor to shelter until the state can come in and assist the neighbor. Okay. The reason why we have limited shelter space is because we have adopted a policy in St. Kitts and Nevis not to use schools as shelters. Okay. Based on the after-action review that has been done on impacted Caribbean countries, such as Dominica and other places, regarding using schools as shelters. We need to get the children refocused and back into school as soon as possible. Yeah. If we keep them out too long, then we have been informed through UNICEF and others that the psychosocial impact on the children, and that came out of Dominica, is critical. So in order for us to work against that, we need to get them back on the piers where they could go back and play and take their minds off of the impact of the hurricane, the howling winds as you spoke, and so on. Dominica, children that had to be placed inside of cabinets and so on to shelter, he had a devastating psychological impact on them up to today. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, based on the after-action review, St. Vincent from the effusive volcanic eruption and the sheltering of these persons that were displaced, they had difficulties getting them out of the shelters. Difficulty, and guess where they were? Schools.
Schools, yeah.
So you've looked at other places, you've gotten
Yes.
lessons, and you're saying we're not going to do that.
We're
here.
not
Yes.
gonna do
That
the
makes
schools.
perfect sense. Before we let you go, because there's a lot to talk about
Yes.
with you clearly, and I feel like we are nearly out of time if we're not already.
Yes.
But I do want to give you a few moments to speak to some of the lessons learned about COVID, as you mentioned.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So, St. Kitts and Nevis, based on the intensity that we have for planning for hurricane seasons and other emergencies, because we are not just hurricane-centric, we have adopted what you call the CDM strategy, which is the Comprehensive Disaster Management Strategies, where we go an all-hazard approach in managing emergencies or disasters, so to speak, or managing crisis as well. Because of that, we were able to use the existing plan for what we were developing for Ebola to implement and respond appropriately to the COVID-19 pandemic, which was last experienced over 100 years ago. And the skill sets that we had on the island that a lot of people sometimes take for granted, we were able to harmonize them in forming a task force. And this task force, having experts from the medical field, the security forces, and many environment and many other places, we were able to guide the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis through a historic crisis that I'm not sure if in our lifetime we will face again. Yeah. And the commitment, the professionalism of our team, the team dynamic, it will never be perfect, but it was great enough for us to guide the individual, guide this country through the crisis. Our motto was to place the people first, everything after. We wanted to ensure that we build resiliencies in the life of individual as well as the livelihoods. And from that, it has given us a perspective in terms of what we need to do infrastructural wise, in terms of building knowledge and capacities, in the accessing of resources, establishing networks with a bilateral agreements with countries. For example, I can tell you the United States, in the early stages, I remember being summoned by the Prime Minister, along myself and Dr. Laws as the CMO, and other officials, the Attorney General and others, where we had to go in a meeting because the United States wanted the factory to be opened to produce parts that they needed for the response to COVID. And it was so, for me, I mean, the experience like no other. When the Prime Minister said, okay, call this number, when we call the number, it was the White House. And, going through that process and speaking with the White House right there with the Prime Minister, I think that too was excellent. And the Prime Minister gave us that space, let me put it that way, for us to be able to work and as technical people. And the astute leadership in the cabinet as well as the Prime Minister in allowing us to guide them from the technical aspect and listening to the expert advice and acting accordingly and supporting it. That made it significantly easy for us to carry out our functions.
Well, I have to say, as someone on the receiving end of what you've done,
Yeah.
good job. Thank you very much for all the work that you've done. We'll be talking with you more, because there's a whole lot more to talk about.
Yes.
But thank you for gracing us with your presence today.
No
Very
problem.
useful information indeed.
Yes.
More Good Morning SKN when we return. Stay tuned, everyone.
You see that new boy that just joined the school last week? He brought me a chocolate this morning because I showed him the way home from school yesterday.
You like him?
No, he's just my friend. Plus, he is my neighbor. He asked me if we can walk home together for lunch tomorrow, and I told him yes.
I don't like these big boys. They tend to like to touch girls without your consent.
What do you mean by consent?
It's when one person agrees to give permission to another person to do something.
He is cute though.
Guys, you won't believe what happened the other day with the new boy from school.
What happened?
The other day, while walking home with the new guy, he followed me into my house. I thought it was okay because he seemed friendly and respectful. So I turned on the TV and offered him a soda. We sat in the chair together. Then he leaned over and kissed me. I was so shocked I sat up straight and asked him why he did that. He said he thought I liked him. I told him not in that way.
What? Girl, you should have never allowed him inside your parents' home.
My parents will be very angry if they meet any boys in our home plus kissing me.
Guys, we don't need to be burdened down with teen pregnancy and relationship problems at this time. Boys need to understand that girls are not sex objects.
Remember, you have the right to consent to every activity being performed, from holding hands to anything more, and to change your mind at any time. If your partner does not respect your wishes, this also is a form of abuse. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Did you know that there are certain seasonings that contain more salt than you actually need? There are more natural, healthier ways to reduce the salt intake in your dishes by using natural things like onions, garlic, seasoned peppers, and even thyme and merengue powder.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Self-health management refers to the measures people take to manage their own health. You and I should remember to wash hands often with soap and water, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Take your temperature morning and evening. Watch for symptoms. Persons with diabetes or hypertension are reminded to take your medication regularly as prescribed. If you have no symptoms, you may carry out your normal routine and boost your immune system. When you are outside, avoid public spaces and wear a mask at all times. If you develop symptoms, put on a mask and seek medical care. Do not take public transportation. Inform the doctor of your travel history, any contact with confirmed or suspected cases, your occupation, and whether anyone around you has similar symptoms. If you become ill, please rest at home. Wear a mask and isolate yourself from others in your household. If you share a bathroom, disinfect daily using 1 part bleach to 10 parts water. Everyone must work together to reduce the spread of the coronavirus.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Last Saturday, May 28th, the 5th annual Miss International Elegance Mothers Pageant was held in St. Martin. Among the competing contestants was our very own Shakoma Green, who placed first runner-up. Join us in welcoming Shakoma to Good Morning SKN to learn about her experience at the pageant. First off, let me say welcome back and congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, so I'm going to tease you a little bit because I know that you were here before you participated in that event. We were talking all about preparations and sponsorship and so on. Do you think we gave you a little push, a little extra luck?
A little extra luck, yeah. What were your charms?
if you
Oh,
guys were my charms.
Yes, your
It
good luck
helped.
charms.
It helped.
It
It
helped.
helped very much.
Good stuff.
Well, not us, but Studio 327. All right, so let's talk about the experience in St. Martin. What was that like for you this time around?
The experience was very good, especially the week of activities.
Okay.
The week of activities were really nice. We had some field trips. We learned some of the history. We visited a bird farm.
Okay.
Yeah, the
nice.
bird came on my hand and eat apple and stuff like that. It was really nice. Although the night of the show itself was much different to the week of activities. It had a bit of complications, a lot of difficulties, but I still went out on the stage and not show it on my face and put on a good show.
Did your best, and that's why you're here as first runner-up. So how were you feeling prior? How were you feeling on pageant day? Because you said how you were feeling before. So what was the feeling like?
On pageant day, I thank God for my prior experiences in pageantry. I chose to relax myself. I didn't really go out. When I did go out for that day, it was to get a feel of the stage itself.
Okay.
Yeah, to prepare for the night itself. So I tried my best to stay calm for most of the night, especially during the lot of chaos in the night of the show.
Okay.
There was a lot of stuff backstage, so I just try and stay calm.
Zoned out.
I didn't have anyone there to help me. I had to dress myself and everything, and I had to do it quickly because there's a lot of girls in the show. The time was going and they started late as well. So I had to try my best to stay calm so I can go there and put on a good show.
Well, that's quite a feat. Is this the first show that you've actually been on your own with?
Yes, actually, yes.
So there were some nerves, I imagine.
Not really.
Not a lot.
Professional in you.
Not a lot. I do, after becoming a mother, I recognize that if you don't do certain things mentally, nobody else would. And if you don't control that, you would break down, you would be gone, right? You have to be in control. Now your feelings in control of you. So I try my best to stay calm that night so I can go there and put on a good show so that nobody see that, I'm losing myself.
I got you.
And I like the fact that you didn't show that because you have at least 3 sashes, your first runner-up sashes, you got your Sunday best, and then you got best promotion of the island, which I thought you would have won anyway because that was a lovely video that you did. So what was your favorite segment of the show?
My favorite, I actually have 3 favorites. My speech, the culture where it was gorgeous, and compared to the other delegates, I saw their performance, and St. Kitts and Nevis, it had so much energy, so much fun up there, right? And I'm just surprised I didn't win that segment, but it was really good. So the speech, cultural wear, and my son the best.
Okay.
My son the best performance. My shoe actually came off on the stage.
Oh wow.
So I'm not surprised that I won it still because my energy and my performance itself, it just stood out from the others.
Good
so I'm not surprised that I won it.
So
but my shoe did come off.
Your shoe came off.
And you
still won Sunday best.
Yeah. Yes. So imagine the other segments.
You've got a story to tell. I can sense that. I can definitely sense that.
It was great. Yes.
So let's talk about the interview segment. Do you recall the question that you were asked for the interview?
Yes. The interview segment. There was actually 2 questions, but the one I do recall, they asked, as a mother, as an existing mother, if you were in a position where you were pregnant and the doctor said you had to, choose to live or choose for your baby to live, which would you choose and why?
Wow.
What was your answer?
That's the question.
Basically, I said, well, in this instance, I would first consult with my partner because it's not a decision you can make on your own. And then I would consult with my family. It's important I consult with God and allow God to lead me to making a good decision, right? And then basically, at the end of it all, if I choose to live, it's because I have my 2 beautiful children here, and I can't imagine leaving them on their own because I firmly believe that no 2 mothers are the same. Nobody can replace me.
No,
right?
Nobody can replace me.
And so I said my children need me, and I very much need them. And that at the end of the day, I would still overcome this tragedy, and I would choose to have another child, which would be a symbol of my strength and resilience. But at the end of the day, I would still fight for both of us to live.
Okay, I love that.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So it kind of answers it both ways.
Yes,
where I would live, or both of us.
And that probably was not an easy thing to do, because not knowing what that question was, how much time did you have to answer that question?
1 minute.
1 minute. Okay.
But I actually started by saying that is quite a precarious question. It really is.
Yes.
No mother would want to be in that position.
Exactly.
No, Mom.
Exactly. But
But
based
that's
on what
life.
I'm hearing from you, that was a terrific answer, Shakoma. So I can see why you have so many sashes.
Exactly. You didn't take the support with you, but what was the Kittitian population in St. Martin towards you on the night of the show? How was that support?
There was quite a few. I would say maybe 5% of the attendance was Kittitians, and the majority was St. Martin people. When they asked the audience to judge from its popularity, I heard so much noise for me. I was fourth out of fifth. And so for the first three, there wasn't much, cheering. But when they came to me, I almost got to tears how the crowd was cheering for me. But then Miss St. Martin was after me, and then they beat on the table and everything. So, she won Miss Popularity. But the support was really good.
Well, let's just say that you were drumming up support for St. Martin when you came out in fourth place.
Yeah.
We're going to be back to talk with you a little more, and a special treat from you, actually, when we return. So stay tuned. More Good Morning SKN when we return.
Salt is an important part of the human diet, but most of us consume more than we realize.
I eat some veggies for dinner. Let me just check the amount of sodium in this can. Oh no, this is too much. Let me try a next option. They did say it's healthy to consume less salt. This is much better. I am salt smart.
Changed, and he's been leaving the house every day for hours and liming with his friends and coming home drunk and causing confusion.
Gloria, this is what you cook today? This is not enough food for a big man like me.
But Glenn, it's been 6 months now. You haven't given me any money to shop for food.
Okay, so what you want me to do if my boss ain't called me out for work as yet?
Look for a different job now.
What you just said to me?
Get a next job.
What?
Help! Let me go!
Let go what? Yeah, let's see what really happen. Let go what? Watch your mouth with me now.
Every day mom and dad fight. When are they going to stop?
Domestic violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, economical, and psychological. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492. Special Victims Unit 662-7077. Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We have the pleasure of speaking with Shakoma Green. Shakoma represented our Twin Island Federation in the 5th annual Miss International Elegant Mother's Day pageant, which was held on Saturday, May 28 in St. Martin. Shakoma is now going to do us the honor of reading a portion of her speech live here on Good Morning SKN. Shakoma, take it away.
Thank you. I am very thankful in this life that I have a mommy who gave everything she had in this life to be my mommy. Greetings from the lush paradise, the Gibraltar of the West Indies, St. Kitts and Nevis. The beauty of our nation's children is embedded in the lessons of our diverse mothers. A mother is she who can take the place of all others, but whose place no one else can take. Mothers have molded minds and shaped our societies for many decades. Within their sacred warmth and their nurturing guidance, children near and far have learned lessons of discipline, character, etiquette, and skills of survival. The lessons of a mother can never be taken for granted, for they have spanned and matriculated for many generations. Generations of young people came after each other, spewing their own individualities and wisdom. These lessons have inspired children to pursue knowledge, vision, a passion for excellence and integrity. Our children must have a commendable appetite for respect and discipline. It is quite evident that no two mothers are the same, but every mother is tasked with teaching their children the basics of life, and in doing so, they share the most valuable life lessons. Like my mother, I aspire to instill a sense of courage, passion, and pride, because life did not come with a manual, it comes with a mother. And where would we be without our mothers? Our mothers of the world are nestled with so many lessons that allowed us to display the beauty of our diverse cultures, as mothers are committed to molding, stimulating, and educating children. Mothers, continue to encourage your children to do good, even when it is hard. You see, motherhood is truly a remarkable gift and privilege that I hold very close to my heart. To me, being a mother means being fearless, being a positive role model, being a continuous cheerleader for every milestone my children will experience, demonstrating the abundance of unconditional love, and to cherish every countless memory that is truly priceless. So, the true lesson we must learn as mothers is that our work will never end until we depart this world.
No, if I would definitely be screaming at the top of my lungs. And you didn't look nervous. You're very composed. You're good at this.
Very.
Thank you.
Lots of practice, though, I have to say, right?
I guess.
You guess. Not that I want you to share your trade secrets, but when you were preparing that, did you ever, for instance, stand in front of a mirror and see, what you were doing, that sort of thing?
Yes, I do. For speech, it's not that hard for me because I love English. I love speeches. And my trick for speech is that you have to actually believe what you're saying. Yeah. So once I believe what I'm saying, it gets easier for me to remember it. I actually learned that speech in 2 weeks.
Wow. Well, that's good. And I have to say, you have a phenomenal singing voice.
Yeah.
You hit
Thank
that. You. We interviewed you before. I had no idea. And the way that you started, that was captivating.
And I like the hand movements, you just.
I think she's looking for a coach.
My age for pageantry is gone, so I can't go into any more pageantry.
Shakoma, it's been our pleasure. Congratulations again.
Thanks so much.
And we look forward to seeing and hearing more from you.
All right.
More Good Morning SKN when we return. Stay tuned, everyone.
It's been 6 months now, and Glenn had
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance. of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Yeah. I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be safe. One kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll up. Yeah. Cause no man's alone. Do what's right. Alright. Cause I love you. Brother, my sister. And we're in this together. My sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Hey, I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to roll up to roll out.
I gotta say, right? Next time they should.
Bless up. Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate.
Well, there we go again. We're jumping the gun like this little guy here, right? So welcome back to Good Morning SKN. If you don't know what this signifies, this is my camel from the beginning of the show. I've been asking for him for weeks because it's representative of Hump Day. We're going over the hump. And what Cortensi doesn't realize is that based on our next activity, this little guy is actually going to help me out. So thank you for my camel.
Oh, cheat!
Is this your favorite day of the week?
I don't know if I have a favorite day of the week. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Well, let me see. Every day is my favorite
every
day.
Every day I'm responsible for something, so I don't think there's a favorite day. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, you know, guys, today Cortensi and I will be doing the no hands challenge.
No hands.
And really, I think that, you know, you guys should have thought this through before because our hands should really have been tied behind our backs. But you're going to see what I do with this guy to help me in the no hands challenge. So our team has prepared a series of 3 tasks that we have to complete without using our hands. All right. So here are the tasks. Cortensi, why don't you tell them what they are?
Yeah, the tasks are we will unscramble the letters of Good Morning SKN. The second task includes stacking 3 cups without our hands. And then the third task, create the first initial of your name using 3 straws without our hands. Oh
and the kicker is that somebody here is actually going to time us.
So it's a speed challenge without hands.
Yeah.
Oh,
so interesting.
Gosh.
So I guess I'm going to go first. So we'll be timed, right? We have to complete all 3 activities, and then the person with the shorter time wins.
But
yeah,
technically, he's going to be using his hands to hold that thing.
Are you understanding what's going on here? If I use a camel, would I be using my hands? Technically, my hands wouldn't be touching
his hands.
So that's the technicality. That is me. And you gave me the camel at the start of the day. So this is an homage to Hump Day with me using the camels, not my hands, to help.
But you're using your hand to hold the camel, which will in turn use that.
Why don't we let our viewers decide if they think this is cheating or this is just surviving on a technicality? There, you see, you heard a no hands challenge. Look at what you just did. You already failed. That being
my
said,
God.
guys. All right, so I'm supposed to go with this. Guys, they're telling me not to use my camel. You know,
Don't use the camel.
At Studio 327 Inc., tell me if you think it's fair for me not to use the camel. I was really hoping to use this guy, but you know what? In the interest of fairness, they say, I'll put him down. Sorry, guy. All right, let's go on. So if I can't use my hands, let's clarify this. By hands, you mean palm of my hands.
Yes, don't use the palm of your hands.
Oh, that's easy. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm kidding. All right, so I'm supposed to be doing this. All right, timing. Are you ready? Sorry, let me ask you first. Are you ready? Here we go. And go. Wow. Now, you know, this is actually very, very difficult.
Our
Good.
hands are really important, huh?
Okay.
Look at you. Talking difficulty and you got it.
Talking difficulty and I got it. Listen, this is like, what on earth am I doing here? I don't know what I'm doing.
Ooh. Okay. Look at you.
Really, guys?
No camel. No camel. No camel. That's wrong.
It's a no hands challenge. I'm not using my hands.
You are using your hands to
no,
hold
I'm
the
not.
paper. You're cheating.
Technically,
Viewing audience, Jamie's cheating.
I'm cheating?
You're cheating.
You said no hands challenge. My hand isn't touching the cup, is it?
But it's touching that.
Guys, we'll take a vote on it, okay? If you think that it's fair.
So now we know that Jamie's never getting a camel or anything like a camel again. Don't even try it.
Oh, yeah.
Cheat. Cheat.
Oh, yeah.
Cheat.
It's called surviving on a technicality. There we go. Now I can rest this little guy down. All right.
It's not using the camel.
Wow, this is so unfair. Okay, there we go. Guys, what are you doing to me on this show? Guys, honestly, I tell you, the things... I wouldn't even tell you whose creative mind came up with this idea. I would tell you as much to say that it wasn't mine, for sure. Because I have hands that I like to use, and you can stop. There we go.
Oh.
There we go. So the time to beat is 1 minute and 28 seconds. Hortensia?
Sure?
Yeah. No, I need to scramble your things. That's so unfair.
You can scramble them.
Scramble. Now I
I'm
can use my
ready.
hands.
Do we have to start in order? Okay.
Here you go.
So, and unscramble that J. I'm Team K. Thanks. We appreciate you. So tell me when you're ready. All right. Ooh.
You see, this is what happens, right? I'm going to trash talk Hortensia because she trash talks off air all of the time. So let's get into your head, Hortensia. This is what happens when Hortensia is finally trying to play fair. The camel is actually there, but after what you said about not using the camel, we're going to see how quickly you can do that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. If any part of that hand touches anything, I'm going to see it. I'm going to call it out.
Oh my God. This
Do
is
not
hard.
let it touch.
This is hard.
I'm watching.
You can watch.
I am watching.
I promise I won't cheat. All right.
Guys, hey, you know what? The palm of that hand is coming really close to those objects, you know.
That's a lie.
At least with me, you saw that the elbow was definitely further apart. And you also saw that there was no way that I was getting my palm to touch with this guy. 1 minute.
I wore the right shirt.
You know what? That
It's
wasn't fair
lit.
because I demonstrated before, so she knew exactly what I did.
You cheated with a whole camel. I want to have
I don't
an
think that was
excuse,
fair, guys. I really don't think that was fair.
He cheated.
And technically...
Listen, I'm just smoother.
No, but if you're going to say that I cheated with a camel, technically there were two of us on this, so we ought to divide my time by half. So I won, right? Because that's only fair, right? I'm just saying.
His camel was moving as slow as it moves in the desert, so he got what he deserved.
Guys, you were still going to tell me whether or not you think I cheated. I think this was a technical...
Did he cheat?
This was not cheating.
Even your cheerleader gave you the
Hashtag Team K wins this one, but not if you divide by 2. Thank you to my camel. We'll be back for more in a moment. Stay tuned.
Bless up. Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in...
Consuming foods like bananas, potatoes, and dried peas and beans, such as lentils and kidney beans, contains potassium, which helps to reduce salt in the body.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
Children, how can you tell a tsunami coming?
Teacher me.
Sammy?
My mother said, when uncle jump in the pool and the water spoosh out, that's how you tell a tsunami coming.
Settle down, children, settle down. Do you remember our tsunami song?
Yes! Mommy, uncle not here and the other shake.
Hush your mouth.
Daddy, uncle not here and the sea gone.
Who cares? You don't see all them free fish? Quick, give me the bag.
This is how you tell a tsunami a come. Teacher says so. I would have failed in school, you know.
Sammy, come, let me go. They would have failed anyhow. Let me run, see, Sammy.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. It's that time of the day when we let you know what's happening. So, what is happening? The grand opening of the Barrio Market. So, the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources will be hosting the grand opening ceremony of the launch of the Barrio Community Vendors Market tomorrow, Thursday, June 2nd, starting at 5 p.m. There will be local fruits and vegetables, drinks and more will be available for sale by vendors immediately following the ceremony. Musical entertainment will also be provided. For more information, contact 467-1016. Once again, to get more information on the opening of the Barrio Market tomorrow, June 2nd, you can call 467-1016.
Did
So
you
are we
see
going?
me with my Bill and Ted vibe for musical entertainment? Like, gnarly, dude, right? Musical entertainment bar. Hey, here we go. We got it. That's great.
Oh, my God.
That's great.
That's
Well,
good.
Hey, that's all for what's happening.
Yes, that's
And we already
all
know.
for Over the Hump Day.
We already know what happened,
Over
right?
the hump.
Great show today. Thanks to all of the guests for gracing us with their presence. Thanks to people who appreciate the fact that, you know, by not using your hands, you could actually use a camel. Technicality. I'm still putting that out there into the universe.
You
There
will
we go.
lose when you
There we
cheat.
go. That being said, we want to thank all of you for joining us today for another edition of Good Morning SKN. We're inviting you to follow us on our social media platforms. So let's go. We've got Facebook, we've got
Yes.
Instagram, we've got YouTube, of course, and our handle is very easy.
Yes.
It's Studio 327 Inc. Like, subscribe, follow, and share. And the other thing, of course, is that there's an email address that you can reach us at as well. So, you know what?
Yes.
You have ideas first. You want to liaise with us on anything at all, info@studio327inc.com. That's it.
Yes. And we also invite you to leave us a comment. Let us know what was your favorite part of today's show. My favorite was beating Jamie, although he cheated with a camera.
Technicality. That's my favorite part. Hello. You have to appreciate the value of a technicality. At least I do.
Cheater. And this is the part where we say see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. That's Thursday morning when you will begin your morning with us right here at Good Morning SKN. Have a great day, guys. Make it productive.
See you guys. Bye-bye.